Alrighty guys, welcome back to another episode of Monkey Hero Adventures. Today we might do something a little different. We are going to start the 24-man raid series, but because the queue times may be very long and you can't cheese through it unsynced with just a couple of people, we are also going to be, I think, interweaving the main scenario in there too. Hopefully it won't be too confusing. But basically we'll do the 24-man story, and then while we wait for queues, we will progress the main story. Which is good because that's going to fracture off into our trial series also. So yeah, let's just see how this goes, and yeah, let's just get to it. I already picked up the quest. It was called Sky Pirates, and you'll see in the journal here. It says, an anxious merchant in the Pillars is convinced that his newly acquired airship has run afoul of airborne buccaneers. Make your way to Camp Cloudtop in the Sea of Clouds and question Ronchemont about the missing supply vessels. Let's go. A supply airship missing, you say? Well, that would certainly explain why our provisions are so late in arriving. I did, in fact, spy a vessel charting an erratic course northwards a short while ago, but as it seemed disinclined to make port here, I paid it little mind. Not the most compelling piece of evidence, I grant you, but I have witnessed naught else of interest. I suggest you investigate the landmass to the north. Rest assured, I will send word if I spy any other sign of an errant supply ship. Alright. Let's get our friend old Midcard Somer and fly up here. Back up the camera a little bit. Alrighty. So we are recording this over our Thanksgiving break, so not the school. This whole week. I do substitute teach. I do have to work in the evenings though, but my goal for this week is to hopefully complete the 24-man and the trials and all the rest of the Heavensward and get into the Stormblood expansion before the week is over. So let's hope that we can get that going. Why do you want to die, Mr. Kite? I don't understand. I would just let you live, but I had to go on and do this. There's a Sky Pirate here, looks like, and a cargo ship helmsman. Aid, I say! These villains mean to plunder my cargo! What have we got here, then? Think you're some sort of hero, do you? Well then, you won't mind if a mates here join the fun. Make a more heroic tale, won't it? The tale of how 3 sky pirates fed a meddling little shite his own bloody eyes. That's not gonna work out the way you think it is. What the? Oh gods, I know that ship. It's... So, you the Scrags have been dragging our good name through the mud. You're Red Bill Leoford. We ain't got none not to you and yours. What do you want with us? I think I made my position pretty clear. You take on the mantle of Sky Pirate. You agreed to a certain code of conduct. And codes ain't worth much if folk going around breaking them. Frankly, you're making us look bad. And we ain't have that. No hard feelings though, eh? Oh, thank you, Mr. Leoford. Thank you. I'm certain my master will wish to repay you. If your employee does business in Ishgard, he likely knows a merchant or two who trades with me associates. Tell him to say it's for Leoford, and any reward should reach me soon enough. As for you, adventurer, it ain't often beats me to the scene, but then I expect not less from such a hero as yourself, monkey. That is who you are, ain't it? I don't know too many other folks with the marvelous mana cuffs and the ironwork streamed up. Mana cutters. Well then, it seems you saved me the trouble of tracking you down. I'd been hoping to have a word with you. You see, I'll put it straight. I need someone to help out with a little adventure I have in mind. Someone used to taking a few risks. Now, this wouldn't be no black-hearted brigand's work, so don't go worrying yourself on that account. Unlike them thieving curs just now, I don't hold with robbing honest folks. For me, you see, the Sky Pirate's life is all about freedom. The freedom to go where you will, to find out what lies beyond the next cloud. If you're interested in joining on our adventure worthy of the name, then look for me standard in the northern reaches of the Blue Window. Someone will be waiting there to greet you. That's far enough, stranger. If you value your life, tell me true. Did you stumble across this market by chance, or are you here by invitation? And that would make you the hero Captain said to watch out for. Well met. The name's Stacia. Leoford would call me his right-hand woman, but I feel more like his bloody nursemaid, God's told the truth. Anyway, my thanks to you for coming to hear him out. If you'd follow me, I'll take you to Red Bill's nest. I come to you in person, and still you refuse my offer. Arrogant fool. Oh, I'm sorry, I think that's a female voice. On the subjects of arrogance, Radia, I bow to your superior knowledge. That's about all the bowing you'll get from me. And I've told you a dozen times before, I ain't no one's lackey. But my dear Leoford, how else are you supposed to survive an expedition into the ghost ship? I would fear for my life with naught but your Phoebe crewmates at my back. Well, I'll fear for my life and your mangy crew at my back, on account of 'em being murderous, untrusty bastards to a man. I thought you more clever than this, Red Bill. But no matter. I'll always get what I want in the end. 'Tis merely a question of method. Now there's a face I've not seen before. You don't have the look of one of Leoford's little birds. He's a guest. You understand the concept, don't you? You know, when someone's invited, instead of just bursting through the door whenever she damn well pleases? That was Radia, captain of the Talons. She knows Leoford's the best sky pirate alive, and the fact that he won't join her sticks in her craw. Are you going to let them talk to you like that, Captain? We should teach them Red Bulls some respect. Patience. When this is all over, we shall see who rules the skies. I mean, it probably shouldn't be her. She has one eye, no depth perception. That makes flying really hard. But whatever. Oh there, hero. I promise you high adventure, and high adventure you shall have. For we plan to board the Sea of Clouds, our very own ghost ship. Or, what folks have taken to calling one anyway. Every day for the past few weeks has brought in a new sighting of this selfsame vessel. A massive airship of queer design adrift on the wind. Been a curious lot. There were a few buccaneers who tried exploring below decks, but not one of them's been seen since. And so naturally, they're saying the ship is cursed. Well, haunted. Like I said, an honest-to-God's ghost ship. My guess is she's another relic left behind by the Alligans, but we won't know for sure. Excuse me. Till we've had ourselves a good poke around inside. And liberated whatever ancient treasures she's gotten moldering away in her, of course. But before we start dividing up the spoils, we've got to find the damn thing. Which is why I've been working on a special new device. And finding her's the easy part. What we can't do without is a veteran explorer who ain't afraid to find himself face to face in the jaws of danger. Now I know you're a gallant champion of the people and all. But strip away the fame and the glory, and I'll wager you're still an adventurer at heart. So what do you say, monkey? Fancy a plunge into the unknown on the side of the Red Bulls? Bills? Yeah, why not? And then it's settled. Let's pay a visit to our crewmate, Ultada. She's been working on a way to track the vessel. What'd you find, Utada? Greetings. The name's Utada. I suppose you'd call me Red Bull's Chief of Engineering. Smithing, carpentry, magitech. Well, if it's part of an airship, I could fix it. Just don't expect me to waving a cutlass and swinging over rails. If there's a fighting to be done, well, that's what we have you for. Well met, ladies and gentlemen. Now we appear to have our hero. I'm happy to report that we've overcome the last obstacle to boarding the ghost ship. Meaning your project is proceeding as planned. That it is, Captain. I knew this would be the perfect place to take readings. A scant amount of background aid there to make it easy to follow the derelict's trail. The ghost ship, has what Utada tells us is a unique etheric signature. She's been building a device that can sniff out particular spectral flavor and point us in the right direction. I call it the Ecto Compass. It's allowed me to collect some solid data on the vessel's movements and plot a reliable intercept course. No groping blindly through the clouds for us. All the ships are loaded and ready to fly. Just say the word, Captain. Utada, you'd best stay here out of harm's way. Keep an eye on them ether trails, eh? Aye, Captain. Grab an armload of treasure for me. Now I've got no way of knowing what's waiting for us in that cursed hulk, Monkey, but so you'd better bring along a few mates you know you can trust. Don't hurt to be too careful, seeing as you'll be going in first and all. I did tell you you'd be going in first, didn't I? Well, you will. The rest of us will be guarding the rear just in case Radia and her brood decide to stick their beaks in where they ain't wanted. Don't worry. She'll not get past us, so you can concentrate on carving a path into the ship's belly. Honest to God's ghost ship. Oh, this is going to be an adventure and a half. Alrighty, so what we were going to do here is queue it up. Yeah, it's going to be a long time. So, because it's going to be such a long time to try to get in there, we are going to go ahead and continue the main story while we wait. Hopefully it actually pops, you know, before too long. Welcome, Master Hero. Shall I show you inside the manor? Yes, you should. Fortuitous timing as always, Monkey. Tataru was about to brief me on the search for our missing comrades. If you'd be so kind, then. Absolutely. You'll be pleased to hear that Riol and his men have been making excellent progress. You remember how Flamine helped me escape the Crystal Braves in Lim Salamensa only to then disappear? Well, according to Riol, she crept aboard a ship bound for Radzat Han, where she's been hiding ever since. He assures me it won't be long before we're reunited. As for Ida and Papalimo, the remains of their link pearls have been found, and in Pearl Lane of all places. Riol thinks they must have disposed of them after escaping the Royal Promenade. Yes, that would make sense. They could not risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We're all but certain they fled the city short after, though we still don't have a clue where they went. I see. What of Thancred and Minfilia? I'm afraid I have nothing new to share about those two, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is we've enlisted the services of Charlian Scholar, one of the students of Valedesian, to aid in the search, who should be arriving any day now. One of the students, you say? I should very much like to meet this scholar, if time permits. But first we must attend to a more pressing matter. Sir Amric has summoned the two of us for a private audience. The messenger did not specify what he wishes to discuss, only that was urgent. Assuming you have no objections, Monkey, I suggest we proceed to the congregation forthwith. And mayhap we can meet with this scholar afterwards. Agreed? Sure. Sounds good to me, Alfie. In that case, I think I'll return to the Forgotten Knight for now. Things are liable to fall apart if I'm gone too long, you know.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant. And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities. I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited. Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number questioned our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order, but such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Shrine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Shrine? You would speak with Vidofnir, then?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor? Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on? To have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens. Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
I know little of the lands these dragons call home, this annexed shrine. Have you not agreed to escort me? The coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. I confess, I myself once shuddered at the thought of it. Yet, even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? But, ere we set forth, Monkey and I must needs inform our comrade of our plans. Very well. I shall see to my preparations. Then let us go and bid farewell to Tataru, Monkey. Oh wow, it popped. I'm just opening up the hunt board while I'm here. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna do our first 24 man, which is nice. I can now pick up hunts. And you gotta do it a couple times. There's a couple different like ranks of hunts. But all right, here we go. Void Ark, here we go. Even though we're not unsynced, this dungeon, it was never hard. It was actually probably the easiest 24 man they ever gave us. But now, it is even more of a joke. So... It's definitely a cool little aesthetic, though. I do like that. It's one of the cooler looking ones. And one boss down. And here comes boss number 2. They changed this? He doesn't have his immunity. Usually each one of them gets immune to one thing. One of them gets immune to range, gets immune to there it is. I gotta switch over to him. My ninjutsu won't do anything against the bird. Oh man. Bring me free. Bring me free. Gotta hide. On to boss number 3. That is after I think there is one trash hole here. Oh yeah. No, there is. That's a lot of hanging coffins. That was Diabolos, who was a boss in the first one, and Lost City of Andapur dungeon, which was an optional dungeon, so you guys didn't get to see it done, but he was the final boss there. And on to Kuka Lane. Or Cuchulainn, I think is actually the pronunciation, but we always said Cuchulainn for the longest time. Pretty little thing, isn't she? Now let's go. She actually pukes on you. Don't want to be there. Gotta be between the tentacles, so when they slash down, you get hit. And we used to actually do this part where you actually kill the idols, but nobody really does it anymore because you can actually damage her enough through her protection to push the phase. Well, it seems like they're actually killing the towers, which is fine. Looks like the overall damage in this group is a little low. Now is it completely invincible, so just kill these little things. I think you are actually going to get to see all the mechanics. People need to eat the orbs so they don't explode. She is normally dead by now. This is incredibly sad, actually, because those are going to explode at this point. I'll make sure they don't. Let's go ahead and kill them. Oh boy. I have not seen her break up twice in a long time. This is going to be a wipe. I didn't think it was possible to wipe on this boss, but... Put up the only barrier I got. Oh shoot, thank goodness. Touching the void. Wow, somebody rolled a 98 to my 96 on my minion. Amazing. Bugger me. I expected danger, but not hell-spun and bleeding nightmare-made flesh like that. Didn't stop you and your mates, though, did it? That's some crew you got there. No mistake. Right then, let's have a look inside that dirty great coffer type thing. Something tells me it's filled to the brim with booty. Don't look at me. I never moved a muscle. And there's Diabolos again. What in the seven hells is that bastard doing? This way! Swiftly now! Can anyone else see that talking cat over there? Bloody hell, this adventure is getting queer by the minute. Still, I'd rather take my chances with a prattling puss than stay here. Get your things, mateys. We're leaving. But what about the loot? You can't spend it when you're dead. We'll either follow the furball or make friends with the spell-slinging and Voidborn. Your choice. God damn it. How's an honest sky pirate meant to make a living? The ship's breaking up. Is he trying to bring her down? The Void Cent is attempting to initiate a dimensional displacement. But the gate cannot possibly be large enough for the entire ship. The Queen's coffin. He takes it beyond our reach. There don't seem much point in hanging around here. Let's get back to solid ground. Aye. It's a bit it's a bit touch and go in places, I grant you, but here we all are, and all our bits still attached. This calls for a foaming flagon of... Hold on. Ain't we missing someone? Didn't I tell you Todd to wait for us here? Never fear, we've been keeping the girl company. But enough about her. Did you see the cannon on that ship? As you know, my dear Lord Leoford, I am not easily moved. The sheer power of display set me all a-quiver. Well, I hope you're content to admire from far, 'cause that vessel ain't for the likes of you and me. Do not presume to measure me by your own limitations. Besides, I believe I've shown how resourceful I can be. Which brings me neatly to the point. You have in your possession a device capable of tracking the ghost ship. Hand it over, or your engineers shall suffer the consequences. Perfect. A compass pointing the way just to my just reward. A weapon like that belongs in the hands of one who will use it. Come, lads. Our business here is concluded. I'm sorry, Captain. They caught me off guard. You gonna bang on the head or something? The man I know would never give in to the scum with that like her without a fight. Unless... What did you do with the compass? Who, me? Not. Besides, slipping a link pearl into its case and so long as Radia keeps it close, and you'll be damn sure she will, we'll know exactly what the thieving bastards are planning. Anyone care to wager how long it'll take for her to notice my little gift? It's very clever and all, but how are you proposing to stop her from getting her hands on the derelict and its great big cannon? I ain't worked that part out yet, but I'll expect I'll start with us keeping a close eye on the Talons. Before we get into any of that, though, I got some questions we need answering. You wish to know more of the Void Ark, the ghost ship as you call it? The Void Ark. So that's its proper name. I'd like to hear whatever you'd care to tell us, Puss. And I, for my part, are curious to hear your stories. Ere we continue, however, I must insist that you address me by my proper name, Kate Sith. I will not respond to Puss or Cat, and most decidedly not Furball. My tale begins long ago in the city of Mach, which stood in the lands of Yafame. The sorcerers of Mach were masters of destructive magics, and they brought that terrible power to bear against Amdapor and Nim in the War of the Magi. The titanic forces they unleashed, however, took a heavy toll upon the land, ultimately resulting in a colossal flood that drowned the realm of Eorzea, a catastrophe with my master, High Void Maid Cessair, was wise enough to foresee. Wait. Colossal Flood. Are you talking about the Sixth Umbral Calamity? I suppose you would know it as such. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. When they learned of the fate and awaited them, the Machi Magi began construction of a gargantuan vessel that would bear their people to the skies and to safety. The operation of the Void Ark, as the ship came to be called, was entrusted to Cessair. Prior to that, of course, my master had been prisoner in her own home, confined for her outspoken opposition to the war. So, the Ark was meant as a sanctuary? Then how did it come to be so, what happened to all the people? And where did all the voice scent come from? By what power do you imagine such a massive craft remains aloft? The energy required to raise the Ark was siphoned from over 1,000 otherworldly servants sealed within their vessel. Advances in Machi sorcery were made for one reason and one reason only: cataclysmic destructive power. And the swiftest and most dangerous method of acquiring that power was through the enslavement of void-sent entities. So, the creatures on the derelict, they broke free from your master's control? At the very heart of the Ark, the Void Mages had entombed a great ruler of Voidsent, Skothic, the Shadow Queen. But in order to control such a potent prisoner, a mage of adamant will was required. And being Machi's preeminent sorcerer, Cessair was deemed best qualified. Were it otherwise, my master might never have been released from her own imprisonment. Yet even Cessair's peerless skill, the Shadow Queen could not long be subjugated. One after another, the lesser Voidsent awoke and ran rampant throughout the ship. In the end, Cessair and the 53 Void Mages aboard the Ark sacrificed their own life energies to return the fiends to their coffin, leaving me, a lowly familiar, to watch over a derelict prison. If I remember me Umbral eras right, the stuff you just described happened more than 1,500 years past, which is a good while by anyone's measure, and since everyone seems to have been quite on board your boat till just recently, I'm thinking something unusual must have happened to wake the inmates up. Am I warm? One day, a void scent had taken the shape of a bat, flew into the ship. At first, it was little more than a nuisance that I brushed away. The longer it remained on the Ark, the stronger it seemed to become. Eventually, I could not contend with its power, and it began shattering seal after seal. But you looked upon the true form of the fiend as he broke the chains holding the Queen's coffin. I can only assume that he is one of Skothic's subjects, intent on bringing about her return. Well, that explains that then, except for one small detail. Namely, where'd the Queen's coffin went? And after it fell out of the ship's belly, I'm assuming it didn't just disappear, right? You recall the great rift that the Ark's cannon ripped in the sky. That was a void gate. Such a portal opens a temporary path through the void, allowing the ship to travel almost instantaneous from one location to another. The void sent, as you saw, only opened a gate large enough to displace the coffin. As for the coffin's destination, however, that is much a mystery to me as it is to you. I beseech you, conquerors of the Ark, help me find the Queen's coffin, ere the wards binding Skothic are dispelled. Smells to me like an adventure. And who knows what ancient Machi treasures we might stumble upon on the way. God knows they'll make a nice change from the elegant tombstones we've been collecting. Aye, we'll help you. I'm not risking my hide for the sake of the realm, you understand. But I'll be damned if I let Radia and the bat-winged bastard take the freedom from the skies from me. Do You care only how you might be inconvenienced. If the Shadow Queen were to return, it would have dire consequence for this entire star. Count your blessings, Furball. I said we'd help, didn't I? Before we go rushing in search of that coffin, though, there's preparations to be made. You might well go back to your usual heroic employment, Monkey. I'll let you know when it's time to round up your mates again. The time is nigh, my dear Talons. Soon we shall seize control of the ghost ship and all its power, and rule the skies from here to the ends of the world. Monkey, I was just about to fly out to Ishgard to track you down. You remember Kate Sith, that Machi familiar? Well, we've been working with him on a plan to find Diabolos in the Queen's coffin. There've been void scent sighting from pirates all over, so we know the Batwing bugger is hiding someplace in the sky. We just don't know exactly where. As for going out pinpointing the location, Leoford and the feline are bickering over just exactly how... Well, that's where you come in. If you've a spare moment or two, we could use a third opinion to break the stalemate. Besides all that, Leoford's eager to have another hand to help in the search, so come on over to the Perrick as soon as you're able. You know the way from here, don't you? I do. Thanks for coming. The captain and the cat are inside, still having their discussion. Talk to Leoford, will you, before I strangle the both of them? If you're here about to ask about the Queen's coffin, you'd best turn around and walk straight out then. This aggravating furball's turned my mood sour as a month-old cow goat milk. Leoford, Monkey's come all this way to help us, at your request. I might add, he deserves to hear where we stand on the search at least. The search is giving me ulcers, is what it is. By all reports, Diabolos is lurking somewhere in the heavens, building up his forces, but the sky is his vast dome, high as the ocean deep, and we've not the pirates to scour every damn floating rock. That's where I tried my luck with Radia. You remember her, don't you? Captain of the Talons, blonde hair, one eye, stole our bloody compass? Well, I've been eavesdropping with that link pearl I slipped into the casing, hoping to catch something useful, but all I've heard from her and her sorry crew is snoring, grumbling, japes about the Archbishop's holy nethers. In the end, it seems we have no choice but to do this the hard way. But a certain mule in annoyance refuses to acknowledge the truth of it. You could not possibly hope to investigate the entire sky with this meager handful of ne'er-do-wells. I find my suggestion to seek aid from your fellow pirate kings a perfectly reasonable one under the circumstances. Ah, stow it, you mangy alley cat. You've not the faintest idea how the sky pirates operate. Best case scenario, we'd be locked into a deal and hand over any treasure we find, and that's assuming we weren't laughed out of the room to begin with. You cannot assume that every man and woman shares your base morality. If we but made the attempt, I am sure we could convince some of the fellow nobility of our cause. And so it goes, round and round. Knowing pirates as I do, I'm finding myself siding with the captain on this one, but what of you, Monkey? Any thoughts on the matter? See there, even Monkey agrees with me. We proceed as we have been, and try to cover as much sky as possible. However we tackle things, though, with the long road ahead of us, I'll see if I can't think of a better way to shorten it. You might as well head back to your ventures, Monkey, unless you're willing to lend us your experience in another matter, that is. Utada, our chief engineer, has been mumbling about the Void Ark and cursing under her breath for days. Might be as you can provide some insight into her dilemma. She's conducting her research in the Sea of Clouds, yes? Well, I should rather discuss the properties of the Void Ark than continue this fruitless debate. I shall see you down there, Monkey. Oh, she's really far out here. What troubles you, Mistress Utada? We were told that some matter regarding the Void Ark was causing you no small measure of grief. Mistress Utada, what are you... Ugh. I feel so much better now. My apologies, Kate Sith. You had the misfortune to enter my field of view just as I felt the intense desire to squeeze something warm and fuzzy. It's the standable ectocompass. I made another one, you see, identical in all respects to the first compass that Radia stole. But look, it points in a completely different direction to where the Void Ark should currently be. I don't understand what I did wrong. I used the same plans, the same parts. I can imagine that would be infuriating. And you're certain there's no flaws in the design of the materials? Positive. I tweaked and adjusted and replaced every single piece, but It refuses to function as intended. I'm on the verge of tossing the blasted thing over the edge. What do you make of this, monkey? I don't think the compass is broken. Yes, I am inclined to agree. Judging by your previous work, it should seem unlikely that the compass itself is defective. We must consider other factors. Might you explain to us the principle by which the ectocompass tracks the Void Ark? It all comes down to etheric signature. I discovered that the Void Ark is encompassed by an energy of rather peculiar composition, so I simply tuned the compass to follow its unique trail. An energy of peculiar composition, you say? Of course. The Void Ark was propelled by siphoned energies of voidsent. Could it be that the compass was tracking not the vessel itself, but the aether of the entities imprisoned within? That would certainly explain why the compass now points in a different direction. That one would expect. After all, Diabolos and the Shadow Queen are no longer aboard the Void Ark. Are you implying that if we plotted a course based on the readings from the ectocompass, we would arrive at the demon's doorstep, so to speak? Just so. Mr. Shutada, assuming my theory is correct, we no longer require outside assistance to pursue our elusive quarry. Oh, Stacia, perfect timing. You won't believe what wonderful discovery we've just... Talon's airship's been spotted en route to our nest. If it's revenge you're looking for, we best head back and make ready for him. Truce, Redbill. We need you to save our captain, Radia. Radley, actually, is her name the whole time. You're one of Radley's favorites. You threaten my crew, steal our compass, and now you come crawling for me to help? What kind of unholy mess are you Cretans stumbled into? Aye, we took your damn compass, but it didn't show us a ghost ship. We ended up in some moldy old ruins lousy with void scent. Before we knew it, some sort of spider demon was knocking our ships out of the sky, 2 of which managed to pull away, but we saw what happened to them as it got caught on the ground. If the captain survived the massacre, she's stuck there with no wings to fly out again. Why don't you give that Link Pro a listen, Captain? Might as well can learn if Radley is still alive or dead, at least. Ugh, so much buzzing. Can't hear a bless... Wait, I'm getting some words. They're after... Machi artifact. Damn demons are searching... Hide! And then a bunch of screaming. Seems Radley is still kicking for now, but who knows for how long. If those screams were an act, then consider me fooled. I don't think the Talons are laying a trap here. I've half a mind to leave Radley to her fate, but I never turn my back on an adventure, especially when the secret of treasure is in the air. Now tell me, where'd you find these ruins? You'll help us then? You're a good man, Redbill. We left the captain in Yafim's Saltmoor, just northwest of Mordona. In Yafim, you say? Then you must speak of the ruined shell of Mach itself. By Shet Toto's black heart, could they be after the Null Stone? What's that, Puss? You think you know what those fiends are after? Right. You taught us see that the talons are patched up, and have the Remio ready to fly. Don't spare the oil. You know I love to hear her purr. Monkey, Stacia, bring the furball to my quarters. We'll have ourselves a chat about our impending trip to old Mach. Right, Furball. Let's hear about the artifact that Diabolos is looking for. If I am to speak of the Nullstone, then first I must explain the method by which Machi sorcerers would bind the Void Scent into service. The more powerful Void Scent, the more difficult it is to manifest its presence in this world. Their own immense strength weighs them down like an anchor, you see, preventing them from breaking the surface of our dimension. And that is why they cooperate with mortal sorcerers. A mage can provide a suitable vessel for the summoning, or rip a large enough hole in the fabric of reality for the entity itself to step through. And let me guess, the mages forced the Void Scent to agree to a pact in return for the invitation into our world. That is correct. But it would be foolhardy to expect such devious and malevolent creatures to abide by the spirit, or even the most carefully worded contract. Thus did the Machi mage construct an occult device that would more securely bind the Void Scent to their will. A safeguard of sorts, that to the best of my knowledge yet lies entombed within the remnants of the ancient city. The Nullstone was seen as a last resort. Should a Void Scent break its pact and turn on its summoner, the mage could use a relic to disperse the very essence of even the most potent entity, obliterating it completely. I can't see the royals of the Void taking too kindly to a threat like that. Seems these sorcerers were just as ruthless as the monsters they summoned. When it came to the glory of Mach, the ends justified the means. In any event, we can be certain that Diabolos seeks to secure the Nullstone before it falls into mortal hands, and thereby ensure that Skothic will reign unopposed. Alright, so we know what the fiends are after. What I don't understand is why such a valuable relic was left behind when the mages knew a colossal flood was on the way. Its value is the very reason they chose not to risk its relocation. The Nullstone is kept within a structure constructed for the purposes, secured behind powerful wards and protected by deadly guardians. With the rising waters, they reasoned the artifact would be sunk with the city, far beyond the reach of the vengeful Void Scent. But now the Yafim is more than swamp and sea. The demons only have the wards and the guardians to deal with. I doubt they'll be wasting their time there in the mud if they don't have some trick to break through the wards. This has become a race to see who can nab the treasure first, which is just the sort of contest a Sky Pirate lives for. So we slip into the ruins, pinch the relic, and rescue Radley right from under the fiend's noses. Well, I suppose we could save her while we're poking around for loot. I'll grab the new compass from Utada so we know where we're going. Check your weapons, pack your small clothes, and meet me by the landing when you're ready to fly. We'll fly directly to Yafim from here. Once we arrive, we'll forge ahead with your brand new adventures as you did on the Ark, Monkey. Just keep slicing into the depths until you reach the Nullstone. We don't want to risk getting knocked out of the sky by the Talons, so you best land a little ways out of the ruins and head in on foot. But Furball says he knows the place well enough to guide you, so me and the Red Bills will follow behind on rescue duty. You concentrate on smashing a path through the artifact. Won't check the nooks and crannies for Radley and her crew. Don't let your guard down, though, once you reach the ruins, though. There's likely golems and such in there that are worse than the fiends outside, and we wouldn't want you, our hero, losing his head now, would we? Alrighty, guys, our second one is now open, and we're going to end our video right here. We're going to pick up with more story as we wait in the queues, and more the 24-man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first little sec, and it is going to get pretty interesting. So again, hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.